Hey, I'm back. Hopefully no tissue required this time.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. I was speaking with my father just 2 days ago in Eugene. He's 93, he has Alzheimer's, and does not remember much. It took him about a half an hour to realize that I was his son. In the course of our conversation, wow, maybe tissue will be required. In the course of our conversation, I just said, hey, Dad, do you remember any verses? Man, tissue's required. Do you remember any verses in Portuguese? And he looked down and goes, you could tell he was thinking and struggling. He goes, porque Deus amou o mundo. And he stopped. I completed the verse, but it didn't matter, really, because he captured it all. For God so loved the world. That's it. Porque Deus amou o mundo. For God so loved the world. And that's why we do what we do, because of God's love in us spilling into the world as well. So this is a spotlight moment as to what we do. Hisportic is a made-up name. It comes from Hispanics, Spanish-speaking peoples, Hisportic, Portuguese-speaking peoples, right? Wayne Long was the founder of Hisportic back in '84, and I'm the third director. I started in 2015, and it's been a joy, it's been a privilege to be able to minister to Portuguese-speaking peoples worldwide. And you might think, well, why just Portuguese-speaking peoples? Do you know how many countries there are that speak Portuguese? There are 8 countries plus 2 more enclaves. Just to help me out, not to forget, there's Angola and Brazil and Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, Portugal, yeah, right, and also São Tomé and Príncipe, and then Timor-Leste, East Timor. And the enclaves are Goa, India. Goa is a state in India that was a Portuguese colony, and then Macau in China. But I have some flyers in the back there where my display is, and I encourage you to pick these up and just read them, check them out, and you'll find out a little bit more about them. And so I just want to go over some of the highlights that these have. Of course, we talked about Guinea-Bissau quite a bit already, but the logistics is that we are church planting, and we have a boat ministry there that does, thinking in Portuguese, that does both fishing and then fishing for men and women. So those boats are used for dual purpose there. And boy, Bebe has launched this ministry, and now we're up to 2 boats and hopefully 3. And just going up and down the river and evangelizing. We hope to open a Bible Institute soon as well. We have 3 schools, actually, and about 1,200 kids in those 3 schools. And Lord's willing, growing. We're starting another one in Cachel soon. So those are the things that are happening in West Africa. I'll come back to West Africa later on, but let me hit some of the other outreaches that we have right now. In Goa, we just opened up a work there in Goa just 2 years ago. The COVID was nipping at their heels as they went to Italy and couldn't go from Italy to India, so they went to France and got out on one of the last flights from France into India, and then France closed, and they got closed down for a while. So the first year was really a year of consolidation, a year of not stopped, but trying to figure out creative ways to minister. Now, in India, foreigners cannot go in as missionaries, so we are a business there, a for-profit business, actually. And with the help of some churches and some friends, we have opened up a recycling business. Hey, visual aid here. The bottles and everything like that. So we bought a hydraulic press, and we rented a property, built a warehouse over a small warehouse, and we use it for multiple purposes. We started a children's ministry there when the bottles are out, and then we also have church services there. But for the most part, the place is just full of plastic bottles and what we have to do in order to do that. But this will be able to, once we start making a profit, businesses have that lag time, maybe about 3 years. And this year, if we buy transportation, we will probably go into for-profit times. And that for-profit will fund the ministry, you see, and it will fund church planting. Because this is another Luciano and another Adriana. We can only recruit Lucianos and Adrianas, right? And so they're in India right now, and great family. They are fourth generation fruit from my parents' ministry in Goiânia, in Brazil. And when we met, I kept telling them, I know this pastor and that pastor. They go, he married us, he baptized us. And it's like, wow. Great people, very entrepreneurial, and ministry-minded like no tomorrow. They already have 5 groups of kids that they work with, all very in the lower castes, And we have 3 churches that we have started already, most of them in recycling centers, not our own, but others as well. And it's going good. The business, once it starts making a profit, we'll be able to plant churches. And like I was trying to say, they're great networkers. They're in furlough in Brazil right now, and they have a network of about 5 Indian families that are continuing with the work already. And with this capability of networking and finding Indian Christians and leaders to join with them, then they can start something and say, okay, you take over this, we'll just watch, because that will keep them out of trouble. That will keep the ministry out of trouble as well. So a great opportunity there. 4 years ago, I came to Week of Missions and highlighted East Timor. And we are still looking for a missionary family to go to East Timor. At that time, we had a prospect, a Brazilian couple and their family to come, and that did not work out. But you know what? It doesn't. Whenever I go to East Timor and go to rent a car or get chips in my cell phone or stuff like that, I'll ask them straight up, Portuguese or English? And they'll always go English. And at first I didn't believe them, so I was speaking in Portuguese to them and going, wow, their Portuguese is awful. And when they went to English, it was good. I could understand. So it does not, the language barriers is not that great when it comes to, because Australia is there, Singapore is there close by, and those countries are very influential in East Timor. And so we'll sing Just As I Am after I'm done and see if we find anybody to go to East Timor, okay? All right. But great ministries there. The country is really ripe for the harvest. Like Jesus told his disciples, months from now? No, it's now. It's really now. And the reason why is because, if you remember what I said 4 years ago, the reason why is because it's a very, very young country. And what I mean by that is most of the people that are 50 years and older are survivors of a 24-year war with Indonesia. And that 24-year war just wiped out half the population. Therefore, the generation that's coming up, about 85% of the country, about 2 million in total, 85% are 25 years old and under. And they're all coming from the villages into Dili. There are 32 different tribes in that half an island of a country. And they're all coming into Dili, the capital, wanting to study and wanting to have opportunities for employment and stuff like that. And they're looking, they're searching, and they're ready. They're ready to hear. I had some friends that they say, we open up our doors every night. They have a large meeting room, and it's full every night. And these kids are really looking. And so I'm hoping that the Lord calls someone who has an interest in working with university students in such a way that they'll be able to develop the future leaders of that country. So East Timor, pray for East Timor on that. We do have churches, Brazilian, Portuguese-speaking churches here in the U.S., mainly in the New England states, and we're trying to open some in Florida. That's been challenging a bit, but nonetheless, and the reason why is because the Brazilian churches in Brazil are coming to the U.S. in full force, and so we're starting from scratch. They're starting with full staff and full financing and everything like that, but hey, that's great. We'll go somewhere else then, but we still have those opportunities here in the United States with the immigrants coming from Brazil. And not only that, Brazilians love Americans, and they always want to be in American churches. And so that's a good thing too, okay? So we can get them and send them somewhere else. All right, let me highlight one more thing, and I won't keep you too long. And this is a pamphlet that says Mission Trip to West Africa. Every February, one of the cool months, just 100 degrees, yeah. One of the cool months in Guinea-Bissau is January, February. And January is kind of challenging for us, right after Christmas and all that stuff. But so February, we try to go every year to Guinea-Bissau. And we have two campuses, one in Bissau itself. We talked about Bethel Christian Church. The kids are from that, Christian school. The kids are from that school. And it's a 2.5-acre campus. And on that campus is that school, and plus the halfway built institute, and an administrative house, and we hope to build a missionary house on there, and some pavilions, and expand and get everything ready, a wall around it. And so we have been going from the United States, churches here, going to Guinea-Bissau every February for about 12 days of work, and working on the walls until everything is done there. And then we go to Cashel, because Cashel, we have 1.5 acres there, and we want to do the same thing there, to not only have the church there, but schools and also parts of the institute as an appendage there. So I'd invite you to check it out and let me know if you're interested in coming with us, because God is doing great things there. That's basically what I have, Joe, unless anybody has any questions. Yes?
If it's okay to ask questions, do the children have to pay for their tuition to come to school as lots of other African countries?
Okay.
Or how do you handle
All right.
financing of the kids who come?
Good. So the question was, do the children at the school, Bethel Christian, do they have to pay? Yes, very nominal fee, very nominal. But we do that not because we absolutely need it, but because they need to pay something. You see what I'm saying? They need to treasure that, and they do. But I've been thinking about starting up what do you call it? A funding thing for the kids. Sponsorship, yeah, thanks. Sponsorship for the kids and stuff like that. But right now, eventually we'll have to do that, sponsorship. But yeah, they do pay a nominal fee. However, most of that is incurred, through mission expenses and stuff like that.
But none of it is state-sponsored?
No, none of it is state-sponsored. No. No. Thank you. Any other questions?
Tim,
Yes.
can you share about the children at the school when they got to the end of what 5th or 6th grade and there was no more classrooms?
Thank you, Anna. Anna's on our board. I pay her for that. She's going to come up and go, okay, I want to, no. So, we had our facilities, our initial facilities went from K to 6th grade. And the sixth graders were halfway through their year, and they said, how about next year? And Adriana had to say, well, you're going to have to find another school. No way. I'm not going to go to another school. I'd rather not go to school if I have to go to another school. And especially the kids who had just started from kindergarten all the way to sixth grade, and they're going, no, 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 no. So they formed a little committee, and I guess they talked among themselves as to what they were going to say and who was going to say what and yada yada. And they marched over to her house about 30 minutes away and had an intervention, right? We need classrooms. We need space. And you can't abandon us like this, and tears and all that kind of stuff. So Adriana got a hold of me and goes, hey, Tim, and this is what they're going to go. We got to do something about this. And so I put the word out and made a little, giving schedule and stuff like that. And people really, really responded. And so now we have 2 added classrooms because of that. And they're still in the construction phase, but they'll be done soon. All the funds are already there. And now all we need, we were waiting for electricity. And then we decided, okay, generator's going to have to be it, even though it's expensive, because Guinea-Bissau, getting electricity, getting on the grid is just, But yeah, so now we have those 2 classrooms, and the 7th and 8th grade we'll have a full elementary school and a full middle school as well. And so I'm sure that within a year or so, in fact, I talked to Adriana just the other day. I said, okay, we need to think about, well, we got 2 years. I said, 2 years is nothing. So I said, we'll finish the institute. How's that? And put the kids there for the high school. And the institute can meet in the evenings. If it's air conditioned, it'll be okay. But it has to be air conditioned. Okay. Did I answer your question?
I think so.
Was there any other details that you remember that I don't? Okay.
No, I just thought that was,
Yeah, that's a great story. Well, thank you again. Thank you, Joe.